Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to TEW 2020. And this is, of course, going to be my first impressions, and then we're also going to have about an hour's worth of gameplay, I think. But the reason why I didn't get this video out yesterday, as we jump into a new game here, is the fact that I had to work for 13 hours while this game was released. Now, I can tell you, I was incredibly frustrated at the fact that I had to essentially work more than half the day while, in my head, I wanted to be playing this game really badly. Anyway, let's do first impressions. We'll go with that. Oh yeah, already in use. Now, I didn't actually play, but I just tried to record, and I found out that my game capture was a little bit messed up. So we'll just call this one first, and let's get into it. Now we're going to see all the new features. I have not played a single minute of this game yet. I noticed the recording was messed up pretty early on, pretty much before I even got into the actual main screen. Anyway, here we go. So this is the Cornellverse, obviously created by Adam Ryland back in 2004. And then, of course, the whole Cornellverse, named after one of the main characters, Tommy Cornell. I mean, if you're a new, buyer of this game, well, eventually when it becomes buyable, this is Adam Ryland's created world in, based off the real world, but of course with his own characters, his own promotions, and everything like that. Anyway, this screen here is pretty new, but it's to give you a bit of a rundown on exactly what has been happening in the last 4 years. So with that said, I'm going to read through here. We've got the USA first of all, and we have the dominant force in America is USPW, obviously US Pro, who were, they were still the dominant company back in 2016. And they have used their financial muscle to ruthlessly seize power and now look unstoppable. And then, of course, we have the former big two of the SWF and TCW. They remain powerful players, but both have been through difficult periods and risk falling further behind. We then go into the independent scene, and apparently it's in good health with companies like CZCW, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and Pittsburgh Steel being well established and stable. And then we have women's wrestling on the rise with QAW leading the way as a new generation of exciting female talent is emerging. Alright, so then going to Canada. Oh, wow. The Merger. North of the Border and CGC have been formed, I guess. So we've got the two legendary families of Canadian wrestling, the Stones and the DeColts, have come together in a historic merger to form the Canadian Wrestling Alliance. Combining the both of best worlds, the new organisation has breathed new life into the stagnant Canadian wrestling industry, and business is booming once more. Elsewhere in Canada, the independent scene is showing the first signs of recovery after years of decline. We have Quebec's ACPW, maybe small, but they're well run and are putting on tremendous shows on a regular basis. Okay, I mean, it's pretty interesting about, north of the border being no more. And I guess a more powerful company in CWA. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. Alright, so we have Mexico here. And the name has changed, but the story remains the same. EILL, formerly South of the Border Pro Wrestling, are at the forefront of Lucha Libre's golden period, doing great business with the most talented roster ever assembled in Mexico. The loss of megastar Champagne Lover to Hollywood has hurt them, as has the death of their visionary owner, George Ibanez. And so for the first time in years, there is a hint of vulnerability. Yeah, they changed their name. I mean, if you're familiar with my Road to Glory series on TEW 2016, we were actually with Oli down here. And of course, South of the Border was sort of our main rival. I even tried to get a job there as the head booker, but they rejected me and stole away one of my most talented workers to become their new head booker. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, they also lose Champagne Lover, who is arguably the most over and talented wrestler in 2016. So that's pretty interesting, yeah. Then outside of EILL, the new blood of CILL and EMLL are doing well for themselves and are offering a fresh and exciting take on Lucha Libre. For Oli, the world's oldest active company, things are less positive, with the People's Promotion continuing their decline. That's not good. I'm not happy about that. Moving into the British Isles, you got London's 21CW are the biggest thing to ever hit British wrestling, with Thursday night now being well established in people's minds as Wrestling Night, thanks to their nationally televised show. Not only is business booming, but they're also training up a whole new generation of talent via their National School of Wrestling to ensure a healthy future. Elsewhere in Britain, Scotland's hardcore pioneers SNP continue to stick two fingers up at 21CW wherever possible, while the newly formed CWW, I can't remember, I'm pretty sure I've seen that company debut in 2016, a few years into the game. I think it's Championship Wrestling, but I'm not exactly sure what the other W stands for. Anyway, are experimenting with bringing traditional competitive wrestling back to the north of England. Okay. Also, Edward Cornell, the 21CW World Champion. Kind of interesting. We then go to Japan. Now, this is where things get interesting. At least Black Canvas Grappling is still there. Of course, the GOAT, Funikoshi. So Japan was rocked by an incredibly destructive tsunami in 2016. Obviously, pretty much at the start of the game for TEW 2016. If you're in Japan, that gets makes things pretty difficult, let's just say that. And as you can see, an event that impacted all aspects of life in the country. The wrestling business was hit hard, and even 4 years later has yet to fully recover. The two giants of Japanese wrestling, Burning Hammer and Pride Glory, are both in a degree of trouble. Their inability to create new stars combined with an aging roster have left them extremely vulnerable, and many sense that a new era may be coming. That change may well be spearheaded by BCG and Exodus 2010, two young companies that are starting to generate serious momentum thanks to their talented young rosters. I have to say, that BCG logo and the title belt as well, they look badass, man. Also, if you didn't know, one of my first series on TEW 2020 will be with Black Canvas Grappling. But I'm interested. I'm surprised Golden Canvas isn't here. We'll have to have a quick look at that. I mean, are they still around? They might not be. Anyway, we got Europe here. For the first time ever, a serious wrestling industry is starting to develop in Europe, with the older generation being phased out in favor of fresh, new talent. The three significant players in European wrestling, Germany's EWA, Spain's UEW, and the Swiss VWA, are all well-run companies that are growing slowly but steadily. I've actually never done anything in Europe. So, we might actually take a stab at it. I mean, there's, like I said, some pretty good companies there. Yeah, interesting. Moving on. All right, we got Oceania, which is, obviously the region I'm actually from in real life. So we got Raw may offend the purists with their soap opera style, but there is little doubt that the Australian company have put wrestling firmly on the map in the Southern Hemisphere, thanks to their national TV deal and marketing savvy. Not known for playing well with others, their aggressive poaching of talent is a controversial and deliberate tactic to stop any rivals from emerging to challenge them. I mean, that sounds about right for Raw. Froke Element, the television champion as well. Interesting. Meanwhile, over in New Zealand, Zen continue to quietly thrive by producing incredibly fun shows that the whole family can enjoy. They fly under the radar, but few companies can match them for consistently providing entertaining, enjoyable shows. And their innovative storylines put many bigger companies to shame. Okay. Done. Alright. Alright, looks like we got some new avatars here as well. We got Axel Avatar, Big Tex. Okay. I like Big Tex. He looks pretty cool. Another thing we're going to have to do is turn off scouting. I absolutely hate scouting. You got India. Did I miss something? I mustn't have been paying attention. Is India... I think India is in the game. Anyway. Hardcore McAvatar. Okay, that's an interesting guy. Obviously, SNP would be a likely destination for him. Masked Avatar, Professor. Obviously, very good on the mic. And these guys are pretty much the same. The real question is, who do we want to play as? Let's go with... Well, let's have a look at the companies here. Oh, 5 stars still there. That's good for Japanese women. So I think let's go with more. Let's go with well, I guess Sam Keith. We're not just typing Sam Keith. Is Sam Keith... Whoa, okay, that was super loud. Is Sam Keith even around? That would be a decent question. What is happening right now? Why can't I find anyone? What am I doing wrong? Is Sam Keith not in the game? Oh, okay. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay, so the fact that you can't actually type in a letter, that's really annoying. And what I mean by that is I'm typing S, and literally nothing's happening, so... You know, first impression there, I'm not liking it. I'm really not liking it. You know, let's try and, well, let's try and search, actually. Let's go back to more. Alright, there he is. Sam Keith. We'll play as Sam Keith. User talents. Jack of all trades. Yes, alright. There we go. Alright, so we're going to play... I guess we're going to play as Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Alright, so here we go. Okay, well there's a lot going on. Let me just say that. There is a lot going on. Obviously, it looks okay. I don't want to say it looks good because can't really see... It looks very basic. I do like this top... You know, this top little screen here. That looks pretty cool. But everything else kind of looks like it's a bit of a step back. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, also these buttons on the side. Gonna take some getting used to, I think. So you got the main screen there. Office? What is Office? Alright. So I guess Office is kind of... Just, I guess, the main screen. Now there are, like, quite a few things... Okay. Sizes have changed. More are considered tiny. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so we are safe. Storylines. Alright, so storylines kind of look the same. Yeah, I mean, not that storylines would actually need to be changed in any sort of way. But they do actually look the same. Anyway, let's have a look at the roster here. So Bradley Blaze, that's a very cool picture, very cool re-render. He looks amazing there, actually. I like that a lot. So he's the Mid-Atlantic champion currently. As you can see, the champions are actually highlighted in yellow. That's interesting. I like that. That's a good feature. But first things first, let me go to settings. Got to try and find settings. Settings? Okay. Preferences. Okay. There's actually some new things in here. There's a lot more. Alright, so enable scouting. Turn that off. Book main event first. Main event header. Turn that off. Road agent tips. I guess we'll leave that on for now, because I'm assuming that the whole booking process has kind of changed a little bit. Left or show complaints, momentum. What's our drag and drop booking? I might enable that. Colored text, small roster. Yep, okay. I think everything there looks pretty... Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yes, I guess make it default for now. What else have we got here? Autosave. Return to office. Okay, so regional battle status on best show. So you can actually change how the regional battles are contested. Now that's pretty interesting for all sort of regional companies, or I guess they're not even called regional companies anymore, but like territorial companies. Well, I guess they are called regional companies because they're still doing regional battles. Anyway, moving on. What else have we got over here? I mean, not a whole lot, really. I'm guessing, yeah, so if we look here, you can advance one day, but then they also have a button here, advance multiple days, which is, like, auto-advancing, which is something you had to turn on when you would, start a save. And of course, you got skins, you got everything that you would see in your settings normally over on this side, so that's okay. No, I don't want to exit. Wrong button. Okay, let's go back to the office. What else have we got here, actually? We've got companies, we got workers, we got training, which I assume is dojos, alliances, broadcasters. We got definitely want to check broadcasters. We got game world. We got a search function that could be pretty useful. And then we got settings, save, and main title screen. All right, so let's go back into the roster. I mean, it kind of looks like all the guys that are there in 2016 are still kind of there. Guys like, you know, Deuce Deadline. This guy's new by the looks of it. Duke Freeman. As you can see, we turned scouting off, so we can now see the proper stats. Now, one thing I don't like is not having an actual, you know, skills screen. That's something that... Okay, we do. Okay. Alright, never mind. You got fundamental skills, you got your primary, mental, and then performance skills is sort of entertainment skills, what it was on 2016. It's going to be weird not seeing basics and psychology next to each other. I feel like that's going to be pretty strange. Also, technical is now just a one skill category as opposed to submissions, chain wrestling, mat wrestling. That's interesting. That could have a big implication on Road to Glories, I would think. Obviously, you know, you spread your points out over a few different stats in the top row and your primary skills. So that could definitely cause some interesting differences there for a Road to Glory. Anyway, moving on, let's just go through. Guillotine, Harvey. I mean, these guys all actually come into the game in 2016 when you know, get a few years in. Harvey Robinfield, Jay Fair. Okay, this guy's new. He's the Mid-Atlantic American champion. He's got really bad psychology. You know, basics aren't that great either. Yeah, interesting. He's also in his rookie year, so... He does, however, have really good charisma and star quality. So that's probably the reason why. Pacific Samoan wrestler, Joey Philly. Ooh, came through the TCW School of Pro Wrestling. He was sent down to Moore. Is Mid-Atlantic... No. Hold on. Is Mid-Atlantic owned by TCW? Alright, so we're still in the Confederation of the Territories. Relationships. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Mid-Atlantic Wrestling have agreed to accept developmental workers from TCW. That's very interesting. What investments do we have? So we can actually invest in a new company. Obviously, training facility would be the equivalent of a dojo, I would assume. And still make your own broadcast, so you can upgrade the broadcaster as well. You can buy classic titles. And then, I mean, they're all fairly similar. Except the new one there, invest in a new company. That's interesting. Alright, so actually, I think that's, yeah. You can open a new company to serve as a developmental territory. Okay. So I think they're all actually the same. Yeah. Alright, let's have a look at titles very quickly. Of course, I don't think they're actually different. The prestige is changed massively by the looks of it. Because usually when you start off, the Ripcord Invitational is a 100A star on 2016, I think. I think it is, from what I can remember. And these all look really low, so... Yeah. Alright, so we haven't really looked through the roster properly. So let's go back into roster. But yeah, like I said, everything kind of looks fairly similar. Still got Nate DeMarcus, Ralph Liotta. Who's this guy? Sandman Winks. 21-year-old. He's actually got a really cool render there as well. Sean Noggin. So they've got some sort of younger guys there. The Kiwi Crusher, Sione Tokoita. I mean, he looks pretty good as well. Well, he doesn't actually look good, but it looks pretty badass. The Architect with a new picture there as well. The Historian. Oh, okay. I mean, we're just kind of like seeing things with this first impression gameplay video. But as you can see, it looks like the contracts have actually changed as well. This guy's on a $20 per show contract. That seems a little low. $20 per appearance, basically. Anyway. So that's the roster pretty much there. Like I said, we'll book one show. We can actually book the Ripcord Invitational on this video. But I really just want to go through... Now, Stables is interesting. Because I think Stables has been changed quite a bit. And there's been a lot of, difference. From what I was reading, it said they really wanted to... Yeah, to change stables. And as you can see, there's, 5 different types of stable? You got Faction, Brotherhood, Cult, Gang, and Alliance. So that'd be really interesting. Of course, we had the Long Beach Mafia. So I guess... And that was in my Road to Glory. They would probably be considered a gang with their sort of style that their stable had. Yeah, interesting. I mean, it hasn't really changed too much from the looks of it, but hopefully there's more involvement with that as well. All right, let's have a look at finances. I'm kind of not. I don't like this, man. It needs to be. Yeah, I don't like having. They're too close together. Income and expenses. In 2016, they were kind of separated quite a bit, and also these tables are so like damaging to the eyes. All right, I think we're gonna get out of finances for now. What else do we want to look at? Let's have a look at contracts actually. Okay, there's people on written deals at a tiny company. I also noticed Seth Whitehead in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, which I think is absolutely awesome. Big fan of Seth Whitehead. Yeah, so people can have written deals. I guess that's to stop them going to other places. I don't know. Anyway, we got creative meeting. So it's looks like it's still the same. You got franchise players, next big things, hot prospects. There's quite a few of them. Seth being in there as well. Talk the talk. Okay, showstoppers. I mean, yeah, they're all fairly... Ooh. Ralph Liotta, a ring general. He's actually improved quite a lot, Ralph. 59 psychology there. And 70 for his basics as well. Okay. Oh, we can actually talk to worker. Wow, okay. That's pretty cool. So you can literally talk to them and ask them to do certain things. That's pretty game-changing, actually. That's a big feature. Yeah, I mean, that's massive. I mean, it seems like there's so many options. Like, we can literally ask him to change his style. I mean, I saw down here we can obviously change size, which is, something you could do in 2016. You can ask him to take crazy bumps, stunt bumps, high content risk. I mean, all these different things. Steroids. That'd be pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a big feature, man. That is a big feature. All right, no alter egos there for Ralph. Hidden gems. Upper Swole. I like his name. Currently working for GSW. And he's got a pounce finisher. I mean, he looks pretty good. On paper. Really good star quality there. Really good menace as well. 86 charisma. I mean, you can see him being picked up pretty easily or pretty early by, like, US Pro. He's kind of the only new one on that list, actually. Alrighty. So, with that said, let's have a look at broadcasters, because I feel like broadcasters is one of the most important things to the Cverse. Yeah, so India is actually in the game. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Might have to do a series with an Indian company at some stage. Is there I don't even think I saw any Indian companies. They all looked pretty similar to 2016. Anyway. So yeah, I guess we can search like this. Coverage in... Let's go USA first, obviously. kind of makes the most sense. It doesn't look like there's too many more. But hopefully they've sort of changed what is needed. So how do we actually look at what is required? That's kind of my concern. Is there a way to do that? Oh, negotiations. Okay, there we go. All right, so company must be big-sized. Company can be based anywhere. Okay, that's the interesting part. 65 popularity in 10 regions. Wow, that seems like a lot. Let's go a little bit further down. So Canal Uno is the... Okay, so there we go. So it needs to be big size. I'm assuming big sized is national. Yeah. And medium would probably be cult. Small would be regional. Tiny would be small, I guess. If we're going off sizes from TEW 2016. Let's just have a look. Alright, so Pop Network is what TCW usually starts on. Yeah, so medium-sized. What I really like, though, with this is a lot of these companies can be based anywhere. I'm hoping that's kind of, you know, sort of a standard. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like it is a bit of a standard. Okay, so maybe not. So this one's must be based in Japan. East Coast today. Company must be based in the USA. Okay, so that's a little bit different. So usually you would have to be based in the region, a specific region for broadcasters, but it looks like they've changed that to countries. Either countries or no countries at all. And I really like that. I really like that. So this would probably be the channel you would go for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, which is East Coast today. But unfortunately, not even a big enough company size. A commercial terrestrial channel? Whatever that means. Cable-based pay-per-view. Okay. So everything... I keep doing that. Everything looks, I mean, pretty similar, apart from the obvious changes that I just mentioned before. Let's have a look at teams. I mean, teams probably wouldn't be changed too much. Yeah, finisher. I mean, everything looks pretty... You can actually view all tag teams in the entire world. That's pretty cool, though. That's a cool new little feature. So if you want to bring in a tag team from another company, you could essentially do it. So, yeah, I like that. All right, what else have we got? Promises, storylines. Let's have a look. I want to have a look at contracts. So we've got contracts here. So let's go with someone. I mean, the per show deals all seem really, really small. Actually, let's go and hire that guy that was in our creative. This guy, Papa Swole. Now, how would we go about actually offering him a contract? Because that would be the negotiate. There we go. Okay, so this is much different. Handshake contract. Exclusive handshake. So I guess they're pay per appearance. So he can get a written contract, but I'm assuming he can work for other companies because there's exclusive written. Interesting. Okay. Ironclad clause. What exactly does an ironclad clause relate to? So no downside, no bonuses, ongoing contract. Merchandise sales. Okay, that's interesting. That's definitely new. Let's have a look at merchandise after we offer this guy a contract. Alright, so he wants 30, which is what was kind of the... Oh, he also wants more merchandise. Go 10%. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we offered a contract to Papa Swole, who doesn't look to be that over. Definitely not in the Mid-Atlantic. He's got no popularity there. What is this place? I guess that's Mexico. Interesting. There's a lot more regions for Mexico. Okay. I like it. Let's go back. Alright, so what did I want to look at? I wanted to look at merchandise. Okay, so the merchandising department is responsible for the creation of sale of products relating to the company and its workers. These products range from t-shirts and action figures to trading cards and posters. The more advanced the merchandise, the more successful it will be at making money from the company's current fan base. So it looks like they're currently level 4 of 10. Okay, at this level, your merchandise operation has some part-time staff and is being run as a legitimate money-making part of the company. You can start to monetize your old events by selling them on DVD and video on demand. The company does not make worker-specific merchandise. Instead, workers are allowed to bring their own merchandise and sell it during intermission. At live shows, you can expect to make an average of $2.50 per fan. In attendance, you can expect to make around $5 per popularity point per region each month from the mail order side of the business. Running this level of merchandising costs you $750 per month. Okay, that's pretty cool. You can actually upgrade, and you can start the upgrade like that. And it will cost you $250 per week, and you gain 2% of progress every week until, I guess, you reach 100%, and then you would probably go up to level 5. At the next level, you'll be getting around $3 per fan at live shows and $10 per popularity point. And the running costs would be $1,250, so seems like a bit of a big increase there. You can actually see the merchandise sales by workers, so that's going to be really cool to look at as well, to pretty much see who the... Well, I mean, you would assume that the most popular workers are probably going to have the best sales for merchandise. Yeah, so that's pretty cool as well. Of course, we've got the events here. They're all the same by the looks of it. I don't see more changing their events. Anything else I really want to look at? I mean, ticket prices, that would be interesting. Okay. I guess normal. The average ticket prices for this strategy are shown in the table below. Alright, so what's our popularity? How do we see company info? No? No, not company info. Size, there we go. Okay, so we're tiny. And we are eligible to be a part of regional battles. So even at tiny, you can be part of regional battles. And we can't offer exclusive written contracts because we're too small, basically. Yeah. So that would be, I guess, medium-sized companies could offer exclusive contracts. Exclusive written. Alright, so previous size, insignificant, which I assume is probably the smallest size. Yeah, smallest size possible, and is achieved simply by being active. laying the foundation, achieve 17 popularity in your home region. That's up quite a bit. I think it was, what, 11 importance? It was, realistically about the same, like maybe 12 or 13 popularity. But they want you to maybe there's no importance anymore. That's probably what it is. But they want you to get 17 popularity in your home region just to become tiny. And then 35 popularity to become small, which I think is the equivalent of regional in 2016. So that's up quite a bit. Only 10 points away for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. You can still track your progress there, so I like that. Maximum size, obviously. You can set a maximum size for your company, which is exactly the same. Okay, so here we go. So this is the levels of popularity that you need to become, the different size of company. It also looks like there's different regions are needed to become sort of an international company, which is large. So big. So actually, it looks like there's... Yeah, it kind of looks the same, realistically. So medium's cult, big is national, large is international, and then Titanic is obviously global. So yeah, to go from small up to medium, it doesn't actually look that hard. It says 59 popularity in your home region, so that'd be Mid-Atlantic, but then it only needs a 35, which is nearly half, instead of sort of matching the 47 importance you need to go to cult in 2016. So that's very interesting. That's a big change. So 35 in either the Southeast or Tri-State region, which I assume is just your spillover region anyway. And then to go to national, you need 77 popularity across Eastern America. So the Great Lakes. So how many regions? That's only 5 regions. But 77 popularity is actually pretty high. Okay. And then to go to international, you obviously need to have big size, so you need the 77 popularity in the 5 regions. But then you also need a 71 popularity throughout the regions of either Canada or Mexico. So that's a pretty mammoth task as well. Very interesting. And then, yeah, I mean, to become Titanic, you need to have large size, so international, and then you need a 77 in every region of the game world. That's going to be pretty difficult for people going to, insignificant to Titanic, I guess would be the new challenge, local to global. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the new challenge. Kind of a bit strange that they would actually change these names, when local to global is such a popular sort of challenge to do. Very interesting. Anyway, I guess we've seen the popularity there. Now, apparently, events and pre-booking can actually boost the match ratings and the TV ratings and pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. I saw a little bit in the forums and in the on Reddit as well, but yeah, haven't really looked into that too much. That'll be pretty interesting to find out once we start our own series. Now, with that being said, let's have a look at tournaments. We've got active tournaments, completed tournaments. Okay, never mind. We do have the Ripcord Invitational, so let's advance. Okay, let's have a look at the multiple... Advance without a specific endpoint. That seems kind of weird, but you can advance for years at a time. That's a pretty cool feature, I have to say. Big up to that one. Because say, for example, I mean, you just want to see what the world is like, the Seaverse is like in 5 years' time. I guess you can just advance 5 years. I mean, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. That's going to freshen a lot of games up, I would say. All right. You're still at the end of the current week, end of the current month, end of the current year, and then you also have the next player-controlled show. So let's do that one. and we'll get into the Ripcord Invitational, I guess, and we'll book that show. I want to sort of just show you guys exactly how booking has changed, if it has changed. And I'm assuming it has, a little bit at least. Because that would just kind of make sense. Alright. One thing I do want to change. I want to change my settings. Do I want to change the settings? No, let's not change the settings. Let's have a look at the TEW. Okay, so the angles are in yellow. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so they've still got Sammy back. They've still got J-Core. They've still got Wolf Hawkins. Killer Shark. Troy Tornado's there as well. Ed Stone. Joshua Taylor, still there. Mark Speed as well. Looks like they actually signed Roderick Remus from Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. It was a 77 for that show. Pretty cool to see. What else have we got? We got Supreme TV as well, who also got a 77. Just having a look through Hawaiian Crush. That's High Flying Hawaiian and Akuma, I think. Scythe, okay. Scythe looks like he's actually been pushed pretty hard. I mean, I just noticed that the attendances are very small. They look a lot smaller than they would be otherwise. Anyway, let's go into the office. The office is that one. The one thing I'm interested in is emails. How do you check your emails? Is there a button? Assistant? No. Quick email? Okay, so I guess it'll be quick email. How do you check your inbox? That's kind of my thought. What are these buttons down here? The notepad. Decisions. There we go. Do we want him as a face or a heel? Better as a face, okay. So complete signing, so we just signed Papa Swole. Okay. So decisions is down there, and I guess diary and mail. Okay, so mail's down here, so that's going to take some getting used to as well, because usually it was like up top. But anyway, let's just let's advance again. We want to get into the next show for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Not exactly too sure who I'm going to have win the Ripcord Invitational. Would probably be smart to do a few alliance loans as well. So maybe that's something we do. Let me press the spacebar here. Okay, so it's not responding. Interesting to see that it still does that with 2020. It's still yeah. But it still does that. That's kind of interesting. It used to do that when you try and stop the multi-advance from going forward as well. Anyway, I guess we won't be stopping the multi-advance. I'm going to try and do it again. Alright, I'm pressing the spacebar a lot. And, yeah, it's not looking good. Let's just say that. Okay, I guess it finally worked, or maybe there's a mail. Just a production change by CZCW, but I'm actually pretty grateful for them doing that in the first place. Okay, so alliances. Now we want to do an alliance loan. But we probably want to do a couple of alliance loans as well. The real question is, where do we find that? And is it not in this? Yeah. Pablo Rodriguez. Who is Pablo Rodriguez? And then we have the American Cobras there as the Confederation of the Territories Tag Team Champions. Alright, so let's go back to Office. So there's so many buttons here. I'm not sure if I like all the buttons. So alliances, and I guess we go like this. Alliance loan. Let's get in someone. Should we go Frankie Perez? Yeah, let's go Frankie Perez. All right, perfect. Let's get someone from Ole as well. Of course, El Critico, fan favorite of mine from my Road to Glory series. Ooh, Kamikaze is in Ole. That's pretty interesting. We might go with Mr. Lucha 3. Or Silver Tiger. Another favorite. He was actually my Universal Champion. I think we might... Let's go with Silver Tiger. Oh, he's going to be pretty expensive. How much is Mr. Lucha 3? He's even more expensive. Okay. Silver Tiger it is. Alright, should we get someone else as well from New York City? Let's go with Tennessee William. I think Tennessee William is their biggest star. Let's have a look at that, actually. Can we? Tennessee William. Yeah, is considered to be a major star by the fans. I mean, he actually really improved a lot. Super good on the microphone as well. Yeah, I like him. All right, so there we go. We got 3 guys in on alliance loans. Yeah, let's just let's get into the event. Let's get into the event. I think we'll do. Let's just do 8 men in like a round robin tournament. And I think we'll book it that way. Be pretty interesting. And of course, we have some pretty big stars coming in from the other territories. I think Frankie Perez should probably win it. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We also might have the debut of Papa Swole in the tournament. Just worth mentioning, if you've watched this far, if you could please drop a like on the video, it'd be much, much appreciated by me. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, because like I said, we're gonna have a lot of content coming out. We're gonna have a new series. We're actually gonna have 2 series running pretty soon from the release. We're also gonna start a little sort of series that we might continue with the trial version here, the beta version. I do like all these new renders though. They all look really nice. Like all these new workers. So this guy's coming from 2018. Oh, Tricolor Junior. That's a nice re-render of him, man. Might have to steal that and bring it back to my 2016 Road to Glory. Very nice. Alright, it's taken a very long time. We're almost into week 4, I guess. I'm not too sure if I like all these different colors popping up as well with these profiles. Like red profile just doesn't seem very, sleek. This one, if they just kept like a grey or like a sort of neutral color, I think that could look a lot better. Trickster looks pretty good. Solid basics, psychology. I'm also really interested in the whole Indian scene. I mean, that kind of intrigues me a lot. Like I said, we might look into that once the full release comes. I might try and do like a bit of a series based around India. I think it could be pretty cool. But again, I mean, I honestly have no idea what that whole scene's going to look like. I'm not even sure if I activated it with the database just before. I can't remember. I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Alright, are we ready? Yeah, next event, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Ripcord Invitational. Alright, so here we go. So we've been auto-booked in a venue. Let's have a look at these. So we've got Overview, Office, Select Venue, and then Book Show. So Select Venue. So we can still select a generic venue. So I love that. That's something I really enjoyed with 2016. And we're expecting 339 fans. Huh, interesting. So there's a lot of different higher costs there. So Baltimore, like this one here, has a capacity of 40,000, but it's only going to cost us $300 to hire it. Where are we right now? Alright, so we're in Stanley Hall. How do you actually see which one Stanley Hall is? I guess you don't. I mean, it's good to see the economy and wrestling industry on this page here. Anyway, let's select a generic venue. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's start booking the show. Okay, it seems like we might have an issue. What is the issue? Or am I just completely losing my mind? Oh, it's just because we have no matches on the card. Anyway. Alright, let's add a match. So, one-on-one match. And then what do we want to do? Who are we going to have? Let's have Frankie Perez in the first match. And we'll have him take on... Yeah, take on the boy Ralph Liotta. Alright, we'll save that. I mean, match times. Probably want them to be relatively short. Maybe like 8 minutes long. Because a guy like Frankie Perez is probably going to have... He is so good, man. Wow. Dude, how is he still at CZCW? I'm assuming he won't be there very long. Yeah, let's just go 8 minutes for it. Yeah, road agent notes. I guess we're going to have Frankie win. This is a little bit different as well. I also noticed hardcore and deathmatch are now in the match aims. Interesting. What else we got? We go open. At least you can still double click. I like that. I'm not sure if we can call the match. Let's just script it, and then we'll go decisive as well. Alright, so then you just go book, and there we go. We got a match in there. Perfect. Alright, next round. Well, not next round, but the... And you can also exclude already booked as well. Okay, perfect. Let's go with Cheetah Boy to take on... Yeah, we'll go Papa Swole. Can make his debut. And again, we'll lower it to about 8 minutes there. And we're actually going to have Cheetah Boy get the victory. And of course, it's going to be open, script, and decisive as well. Let's just actually go down here and have a look at what else we've got here. As this scroll bar glitches out. So that looks like you can do some extras down the bottom. Okay, that's strange. I mean, everything else looks pretty similar though, to be fair. Alright, so we'll book that one in as well. Need 2 more matches for the actual tournament itself. Let's go with Tennessee William to take on... yeah, he can actually take on the champion, Bradley Blaze. I like that. And I think we'll give the victory there to Bradley. Just to, you know, try and put over one of our guys. So Bradley to win. Open. I'm assuming we can probably call this match because the quality of worker is a bit higher. Psychology 68. I mean, if it's still based off of, yeah, the psychology from 2016, then we should be fine. Yep, non-title match, of course. And then the final match is going to be... Where is he? Silver Tiger taking on Seth Whitehead. Pretty big match there for Seth. And we're also going to have Silver Tiger go over. Yeah, so Seth's got pretty low psychology. Whereas Silver Tiger is very, very good. Okay, so... Yeah, I like that. Let's finish booking the rest of the tournament itself. So we're gonna go include booked. We're gonna have Frankie take on Cheetah Boy in the semi-final here. Also, only going to be 8. Should we go? Let's keep it 8 minutes. We'll make the final 20 minutes, I think. We're also going to have Frankie get the victory there. I'm assuming that can be called. I mean, Cheetah Boy is probably not as good, but good enough to call a match. Yes, he's actually really good. 78. And then a 74. He's actually got better psychology than Frankie. So that's pretty cool. Auto-name that. Book that there. And then we need Silver Tiger and Bradley Blaze. So Silver Tiger. Bradley Blaze. Save them. Give them 8 minutes as well. And then we're going to have Bradley Blaze get the victory onto Silver Tiger here. And again, I think we'll call. Have a look at Bradley. I think he can call. Yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty close. But there we go. Let's book that one as well. Again, non-title match. Go back. These are a little bit interesting, a little bit different. Also worth noting that the this whole booking screen is quite different because I actually have it inverted. That's how I prefer to book, with the main event at the bottom. So with that said, we're going to have to move all these matches all the way down. Oh, wait, what? Okay, we're going to have to... I don't like that. I don't like that. So that's down, down. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, man. I like the old function from TEW. This seems a little clunky and a little slow. And the fact that you can't like drag, that's what they needed to do, is like have a drag option where you can just drag where you want your segments or matches. I feel like if they could have done that, it would have been a lot easier to maneuver your shows. Then we also need this one to go down. And that one can go there. Yeah, alright. And then finally, we'll book the finals. It's going to be Bradley Blaze and Frankie Perez. And I'm trying, yeah, we're going to try and go 20 minutes. And we're actually going to give the victory there to Frankie Perez. With a slow build and then decisive as well. And again, we're going to have to make this one go all the way down. Okay, in between that, let's have a tag team title match. So how do we have a look at our teams? Okay, there. So there's tag team and singles view. That button there changes it. All right, so DeMarcus and Gray, the current champions, they can take on... Yeah, let's go with the Wolfpack. I really do like the look of these two Pacific Islanders. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. Yeah, we're gonna go with them. We'll give it 10 minutes. But we are gonna have the current champions retain. Yep, there we go. Put the tag team title on the line. Also worth mentioning, I need to put the Ripcord Invitational on the line in that one. So there we go. Alright. We also need to move this down. I want to make this the semi-main event, I guess you would call it. Just to split up the matches, and then I think we'll have another... Let's have another match. Let's go with a fatal four-way. And we'll exclude everybody that's been booked. And then what's his name? Who's the current champion? This guy. Jaylon Martin. So Jaylon can take on... I mean, he can just take on a few random people that we put in the match. Let's go Sandman Winks. And... yeah, Johnny Needham. Alright, there we go. Have that one go 10 minutes as well for the Mid-Atlantic American Championship. And we'll go new champion, Sandman Winks. I don't know why, but let's just have a title change. Because why not? Alright, there we go. And I think that breaks up things pretty well. Alright, let's do an angle for Frankie Perez. I'm sort of just wondering if there's the, Angle Rider. Yeah, I mean, that's not really what I want. I want just like the angle where you're just able to book your own segment. I guess this is technically a freestyle angle, so I guess we just do it this way. I guess you don't actually have to click anything. Anyway, let's go Frankie Perez. He's going to have an angle by himself. And I think we'll put that before his semi-final match. And then I think we'll do another one for Bradley Blaze as well. And that one can actually go before the final. And actually, we'll do one more. Let's go for Tennessee William. That can go right there. And then I think I want to make this a work the crowd match. Seeing as it's gonna start us off. So let's go with that. Alright, I mean, I think that looks pretty good. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But let's run it, and we'll end this video after the show here. How do we run it? That's a good question. Start show. Okay. That's pretty obvious. Alright, so we start off with a 33 for the first match on the card, where we have Silver Tiger defeating Seth Whitehead by pinfall with a Silver Tiger driver. Also worth mentioning, we actually got 100 less people. I'm wondering if that's because of the generic venue or not. The next segment, so it went on for too long for this audience. Got a 42 though for Tennessee William. But I'm assuming, yeah, 6 minutes is probably too long. Okay. Alright, so we then have Tennessee William losing to Bradley Blaze, which is the Mid-Atlantic champion, in 7:56 by pinfall with a Dallas drop. Pretty good match, actually, a 44. We then go into a 29, with Cheetah Boy defeating Papa Swole on debut in 7:51 by pinfall with a flying Cheetah Pounce. Okay. We then go into a 27, but that's perfectly fine. We have Frankie Perez defeating Ralph Liotta by submission with a P-clutch. But as you can see here in the red text, so red's obviously negative, green's obviously positive. Frankie Perez and Ralph Liotta don't seem to click with each other. We then go into a 24, which is the Fatal 4-Way match, where we have Sandman Winks defeating Jaylon, Harvey, and Johnny Needham in 9:52 when Sandman submitted Jaylon with a deep sleep. We have Sandman Winks winning the Mid-Atlantic American title. And he was also off his game. Yeah, 24 moving on to a 41 semi-final match where we have Bradley Blaze defeating Silver Tiger in 7:46 by pinfall with a Dallas drop. We then go into a 32 angle. Oh, okay. So he was off script. I guess we have to script the freestyle angles, which is different because on 2016 you would have to check unscript if you wanted them to not be scripted. But yeah, 32 there for Frankie Perez. And again, I guess 5 minutes is probably the maximum amount of time. The next match gets a 39, where we have Frankie Perez defeating Cheetah Boy in 7:47 by submission with a P-clutch. And yeah, Frankie Perez and Cheetah Boy have great chemistry together. We then go into the tag team title match, getting a 28, where we have DeMarcus and Gray defeating the Wolfpack in 10:20. And yeah, DeMarcus and Gray making defense number 1 of their Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles. And so yeah, the Wolfpack, these two guys, they got a bonus for being a Tag Team Specialist, which I guess means they're just like essentially a tag team. They don't really do much singles wrestling together. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's definitely a new feature. Then go into a 29, again, struggling without a script and went on for too long. So yeah, make sure your promos are no longer 6 minutes, depending on which company I guess you're with. That would be my guess. And the final of the Ripcord Invitational, getting us a 40. We have Frankie Perez defeating Bradley Blaze in 2014 by submission with a P clutch. Frankie Perez wins the Ripcord Invitational. Alright, the overall rating for the show got us a 39, which is, pretty close to the main event there. And as you can see, increasing the popularity in one region. Looks like speeches are exactly the same. So let's just go with Bradley. Let's go with Sandman. And yeah, Papa Swole as well. Alright, so there we go. That's pretty much my first impressions of TEW 2020, guys. I am going to play a little bit off camera just to sort of make sure I understand everything. Because I do want my first sort of series or episode 1 of my new series that's going to be coming out probably tomorrow. I do want that to be not me, looking into things as much, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's going to be good. Make sure you tune in. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this sort of first impression gameplay. And I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun on TEW 2020. Anyways, guys, that's it from me today. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, take it easy and goodbye.